Professor Stephanie, and in this podcast I'm going to show you a second method for creating cylinders with objects that you're drawing. The key word that we're going to use with this technique is proportion. Proportion is comparative size relationship between the parts of the whole. So let's take a look at this technique, which involves drawing a line in the center of your page, using that line as your proportion and creating guidelines left to right to get the outline of the piece that you're working on. We're going to take these steps drawing this container, this bottle that you see in this image. The next image, you'll notice that I have drawn a line, and the line represents the height of the bottle in the proportion that I'm interested in using. And then you'll see I've got some guidelines from the left off of center and the right off of center, moving down the container that represents the width of the container. These guidelines then become a place for me to land as I draw the outline of the container. Here's a candlestick that again I use that center line and guidelines on either side for proportion, with the goal being to create guidelines to get the outside shape of the container. Lamps are a great object to use the center as a guide when creating a lamp shape in proportion. You'll notice that in this lamp I found the center, created the size of the shade itself in proportion to the rest of the piece, created guidelines going from the top where the shade is to where the base was, and creating that a rounded shape, and also noting the base. And from that, the lamp, then I also added some accessories around it to create a setting. So in review, when you're working on a container that you want to draw in a cylinder, try that center line, get those guidelines starting from the center that are going to give you that outside shape, and use this as a guide to create your cylinder container. As you practice this, you probably will need less use of this technique, but it certainly is nice to have when you're getting started. So here's another lesson in being successful in drawing. Thanks.